Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're making some homemade cinnamon rolls and cream cheese icing. Stay tuned. Onto the dough, we're going to start with 3/4 of a cup of warm milk, a tablespoon of sugar, 2 1/4 teaspoon of dry yeast or 1 packet, and we're going to give that a stir and let that get working. And then I mix together the dry ingredients with a whisk. We've got 2 cups of all-purpose flour, a teaspoon of salt, a tablespoon of ground cinnamon, and a 1/4 cup of sugar. And once all that comes together, we're gonna add in 1 egg. We're gonna add our milk and 3 tablespoons of melted butter. And we just make sure that everything's well incorporated here. It, looks like a dough and stuff. And then I move it to a greased bowl and cover it with plastic wrap. Yeah, something like that. For an hour or so, and just let it double in size. Okay, it's been an hour or so, so we've got a floured countertop here. We're gonna gently roll this out to 1/4 inch or so, maybe a little thinner, and rectangle-y shapes so that it's easy to roll relatively square when we make our cinnamon rolls. And I've got 3 tablespoons of melted butter, a 1/4 cup of sugar, and a teaspoon or so of cinnamon here. Just gonna mix this up and brush it on the dough. If you have to skimp on an area on this, make sure that it's the area away from you, because as you're rolling, it's going to squish that filling out. So as long as you get it really good at the end that you start rolling, it'll kind of cover itself on the way out. But anyway, this is kind of messy, but it's delicious, so just stay with me. Now to cut these, you can get a measuring tape if you want, and it's going to depend on how tall you want these, but I just cut the whole thing in half, and then each half in half, and then each halves in thirds. Math. So anyway, the ones on the ends are going to be ugly unless you're just perfect at rolling stuff, but they still taste good. So if you're giving them away, maybe keep those back for yourself. And I'm moving them to a grease sheet, gonna cover them and stick them in the fridge for at least 12 hours up to 48, and just let these cold proof before we bake them. And here we are about 20 hours later. They've just about doubled in size, and we're gonna pop them into a 400-degree oven for around 25 minutes. Just keep an eye on them, make sure they don't get away from you. Now, if you don't have powdered sugar, that's quite alright, because you can just use a blender like this and take regular granular sugar and make powdered sugar, just like this. So we're going to take about 1/2 cup of this powdered sugar, 1 pack of softened cream cheese, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and just take a hand beater here and make some cream cheese icing. And just slowly add this powdered sugar, or you're gonna make a mess, because it's gonna go poof, and then be powdered sugar everywhere. But anyway, it's nothing complicated. Just do it till all the sugar's incorporated and it's nice and smooth and delicious. And I like to spread this icing on right out of the oven, so it kind of helps it melt and get down into the crevices, and because I'm a monster and I do things like that. But anyway, these things are awesome. I've heard nothing but good reports on them because they're awesome. You should try them. If you do, take a picture somewhere, find me on the internet and say, hey, I made these.